Hello everyone, and welcome to Drinking with the Hobbit. The Hobbit? A Hobbit. I'm a Hobbit. So the Hobbit? A Hobbit? Drinking with me. Whatever it is. Drinking with a Hobbit. So this is my series where I will drink a beer, tell you about it, or drink something, and tell a story, or just talk, because that's what I do. So today, I am having the Day 7, which is the Belgian-style blonde ale from Southern Star Brewery. Now this is one of 12 beers out of a Krampus 12 pack. Each day is a unique beer, and they include cards for each of those brews telling you what it is and how it is that they brewed it. So I recommend that if you do get this to check it out. They start with day 1 and go through day 12, which is really cool. It is a countdown to the arrival of Krampus. That is, if you've been bad, you get the Krampus. But if not, well, maybe you get Saint Nick. So let's talk about Krampus, because Krampus has become one of my favorite characters of lore, if you will. I really enjoy Krampus a lot. I'm getting more into it the older my kids get and the older I get, because I think Krampus is just really, really fun. So for those of you that are not familiar, Saint Nick is really kind of where all of this started. So Saint Nicholas, a saint in the Catholic Church for his, giving of goods and presents and charity and all of those things. But Saint Nick is really what Santa Claus is based on. Man, this is really good. We'll get back to Saint Nick in just a second. So this is a Belgian-style blonde ale. Now, I'm a big fan of blonde ales. It almost sounded like I'm a big fan of blonde elves. Maybe I'm a fan of both, right? Maybe just a fan of both. It's a little bit bitter on the back end. I like it though. All my friends that know me know that I do not have a refined palate. I have a very difficult time describing what something tastes like. All I know is I like it. It's a blonde ale. You cannot see through it. You cannot see the bottom of the mug. One of my major professors once said, beer should be darker going in than it is going out. And so, yeah, cheers. Yeah, man, that's really good. Anyway, check it out if you get a chance. Saint Nick. So the Feast of Saint Nick is on December 6th, which is celebrated in many, many countries. As I said, it's kind of have that Catholic, what am I looking for here? It's from Catholicism, right? It's got that Catholic link. And that goes back, I don't know, 1,000,000 years or something, 1,000 years. How long has that been around? I don't know these things. But with that, we have gotten Krampus. Now, Krampus is kind of the bad cop to the good cop to St. Nicholas. So traditionally, what you do is kids will leave their shoes out the eve of the Feast of St. Nicholas. So that's like, the 5th? I don't know my days here. Jeez, I'm forgetting the whole story. So on the 5th of December, the kids put out their shoes, maybe by a fireplace or by the door, so that St. Nick can leave them a treat. Historically, that's been like fruits and nuts and stuff like that. Kind of a holiday spirit type thing. Of course, it's turned into toys. That's what kids want anyway. For me, I'd love some cash in my shoes, but we'll see what I get. But the bad cop to the good cop is Krampus. And let me tell you, if you're not familiar with Krampus, Krampus is a weird, creepy dude. Just go check it out. He's pretty creepy. Krampus is some people say he's like a demon or whatever. He's basically an upright mountain goat with fangs. That's Krampus. And that's creepy. If you've seen any video of any animal walking on their hind legs, it's too much. something humanistic about that? Nah, it's too creepy. So that's Krampus's deal. He's a creepy dude, and if you've been a bad kid, he shows up, and instead of a gift or fruits or whatever in your shoes, Krampus historically has left coal. If you've been worse than that, we escalate apparently. And so he will take you out of bed and spank you with switches. I think they said like birch limbs or something. So you'll get corporal punishment from this goat. That's, again, weird, creepy. And if you're really bad, apparently the dude will throw you in a sack and chain you up in his dungeon, where he may or may not eat you. Yeah, so we went full left on that one, didn't we? So instead of, oh, hey kids, let's leave our shoes out, and if you're good, you can get some treats. But if you've been bad, the goat man's gonna come eat you. That's horrible, that's scary. And I should have come to that realization before I told my kids this. So, backstory. My wife, her family, or at least on her mother's side, a lot of her family, and her father's side, they have a lot of family that came from Germany, from Poland, from the Netherlands. So her heritage, and not that far back really, her grandmother, I believe, came directly from Poland, is of that area where this kind of all originated. This is more of a German, Austrian concept. They still, celebrate Krampus. I think they have parades and all kinds of, how it gets over there. So if you're from that area and you're watching this, you know what I'm talking about. You guys love your Krampus, and more power to you. I'm digging the Krampus thing too. So she thought, hey, because of our heritage, we should participate in some of these things, which is the day of Saint Nick, right? Leaving the shoes out on December 5th and all this stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I'm signed on. Let's do that. A little touch back to the past of our heritage. And so I got to thinking, I was like, ooh, yeah, was there something I could do too, Do we have something in my heritage that's tacked to St. Nicholas or anything like that? Well, sort of, maybe, I don't know. I'm Scottish, Irish, and English, essentially, all of that. So my heritage is really kind of what I'm doing here, I guess, right? But we celebrate, right? We all do. So I thought, hey, Krampus seems kind of cool. Let's do that. So as I was telling my kids about Krampus, I said, hey, bad kids, because I was telling them, here's what Saint Nick is and all this good stuff. And I was like, but if you're bad, you could get some bad stuff in your shoes. And they're like, oh, what? Now remember, my kids at the time of this telling, they were young, 5, 7, 8, somewhere in there. I said, well, Krampus could leave some coal, which they had heard from, like, on Christmas Eve, you get your stocking stuffers and stuff like that. If you get coal, you've been a bad kid. So they thought, oh, okay, that's bad, I guess. You don't get a toy, so that's a bummer. And I said, yeah, and really bad kids, they might get spanked with switches. Krampus will come up and get you out of bed and spank you. And if you're really bad, I totally should have stopped way back. I know that. I said, if you're really bad, Krampus can pull you out of bed and throw you in his sack and take you to his lair. I didn't tell him that he might eat him, but I just said he'll basically kidnap you. I told my young children, some strange creature may come into our house and kidnap you while you're sleeping and take you to his dungeon. Yeah, I told my kids that. I should not have. It's kind of funny now. Now, when I told them this, I totally saw their eyes go wide, and I realized my mistake immediately. So I had to come up with something really quick. I said, but he doesn't do that anymore. He can't. That was a long time ago, way long time ago. He'll go to jail for that now because that's kidnapping. And they seemed to kind of back off. They seemed kind of cool with it. But I still felt like there should have been some punishment. So this is what came to mind. I said, but if you're really bad, he's gonna poop in your shoes. That's right. I told my kids, if you're bad, not only can Krampus leave you coal, he's gonna shit in your shoes. So, Krampus around our house will shit in your shoes if you're bad. I didn't know what else to come up with. It's the first thing to come up to my brain. I think it's hilarious now. I did not think leading them on to believe that he was going to kidnap them was probably the best decision. So I had to alter the story. So feel free to take that, by the way. If you want to tell your kids that Krampus is going to sneak in and poop in their shoes, by all means do so. I think it's hilarious. So that is not the real story of Krampus, of course. He will steal you away, though. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's part of the movie or something like that. They made a Krampus movie. I never watched it. I totally should watch it now, though. So that's our little family tradition. They've not ever had poop in their shoes, though one day I totally want to sneak some fake poo in there. I think it would be hilarious. But I've come to enjoy Krampus, I guess because, you know, we're in the Christmas spirit. I love Christmas, don't get me wrong, I really do. But Krampus is kind of, for me, that leftover Halloween vibe. And so it's kind of that last FU from Halloween to Christmas, I guess. You know, here in the States, for those of you that might be watching abroad, Christmas starts like September 1st. Like all the crap goes out in September, and I hate it. I can't stand it. It's only December, at the time of this filming, 3rd or something. I've already heard too many Mariah Christmas songs. I'm over it already. But I do love the decorations and stuff. But Krampus is kind of that last little bit of Halloween that sometimes I feel gets skipped over. So it's a way for me to kind of stretch out that Halloween. Because poor Thanksgiving, it totally gets just skipped over a lot. But Krampus, I'm digging Krampus a lot. Maybe I should get a costume. That's a bad idea. I think anyone showing up at my house as an adult grown man or woman, I think a Krampus showing up to your house would scare the bejesus out of anyone. So maybe I shouldn't get that. Yeah. So that's my Krampus story. I hope you guys have enjoyed this tale. I've enjoyed this beer immensely. It's very good. I think I'm going to sit here and finish it off. So hopefully you enjoyed it. And there'll be more to come with more stories and more brews. And maybe we'll put it up as later on, we'll start mixing stuff. I've got a few interesting drinks that when I tell people what I'm drinking, they're like, really? How do you make that? And so maybe we'll do some of those as well. All right, everyone. Thanks for entertaining me. And hopefully I entertained you. And we will see you next time on Drinking with the Hobbit. Cheers.